Hello YouTube and welcome back. This is Jacob, and in today we are beginning a brand new series where we are going to be fantasy booking things. And for our first one, we are going to be talking about how WWE could have made The Rock versus Roman Reigns work at WrestleMania 40. Notoriously, WWE wanted to do Rock versus Roman originally at Mania 39, but most likely due to a lot of the Vince stuff coming out at that time, The Rock pulled out and plans changed, as I'm one of the belief that the original plan for WrestleMania 39 was for Roman Reigns to defend the WWE Championship against Cody Rhodes in the Night 1 main event, drop that title to Cody, and then retain the Universal Championship, the title that he actually had the historic reign with, against The Rock in the Night 2 main event. And that's why I believe Roman kept carrying around both championships for an entire flipping year, because I feel like that is what WWE wanted originally, and I remember seeing some rumors at the time that back up that claim, but unfortunately that didn't end up happening. But WWE were really close to making Rock versus Roman happen at WrestleMania 40. It was even scheduled to happen at WrestleMania 40, but it ultimately didn't happen because WWE tried to make the match happen under the worst circumstances possible. They chose to do it during a time when Cody Rhodes was way too hot, way too on fire, and they just had Cody stupidly give away his Royal Rumble Championship opportunity to The Rock with no build and no reason, therefore giving birth to the We Want Cody movement, and ultimately The Rock turning heel, and we get in the legendary build that we got to WrestleMania 40. But in this video today, I'm going to be presenting to you how WWE could have made The Rock versus Roman Reigns work. So the idea anyway for Rock Roman at Mania 40 had been a thing since Raw Day 1 in 2024, even though at the time the plan was still Cody Roman 2. Now, when we talk about the Royal Rumble event, Cody Rhodes should still win back-to-back Rumbles. But one thing that I must preface, remember, The Rock returned on the SmackDown after the Rumble. Therefore, at least if my memory serves me right, I'm pretty sure that's the case. WWE had to have known when the Royal Rumble took place that The Rock was going to come back that Friday night, and they were going to set up Rock versus Roman. I mean, it's possible that it could have come up after that, but I doubt it. I feel like that they knew that that's where they wanted to take things. So ultimately what I would have done, I would have not had Cody Rhodes point at Roman Reigns. I would have just ended the show with Cody pointing at the WrestleMania sign. He looks up at Roman in the rafters. He looks up at Seth in the rafters, with both men holding up their respective championships. And basically for the next couple of weeks, I would be building up with both Roman and Cody making great reasonings for why Cody should face them at WrestleMania. Seth saying that I am the World Heavyweight Champion. I'm the champion that's here 365. I'm the champion that your dad would pick, because finishing the story isn't about necessarily being the WWE champion. It's about being the number one guy in wrestling and beating Roman Reigns. Holding that Hollywood title would not make you like your dad, but holding the working man's championship, the real world championship, would. And you have the tease of Cody and Seth, but you also have Roman Reigns basically saying, like, Cody, if you really want to be the guy, beat me. I beat you a year ago. Face me. Like, I want you to fight me. I want competition. And one thing I would also make clear, don't have Roman Reigns bury the World Heavyweight Championship. That's something that kind of got on my nerves, was whenever Roman Reigns would bury the World Heavyweight Championship. Let's not let Roman Reigns do that. Like, Triple H, tell Roman Reigns to not flip and bury the daggum World Heavyweight Championship. Rather have Roman in his promo say that, yes, Cody, you could go after the World Heavyweight Championship. You could finish your story that way. But why not finish your story against me? And again, Roman say, I want competition. And you were the greatest competition that I had. Face me. So you got both Roman and Seth making great points as to why Cody should face them. And ultimately, at Elimination Chamber in Australia, there's to be a contract signing where both Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins and Cody Rhodes are all going to be there, along with both shows' GMs, and Cody will make his decision. So we get to Chamber. Roman comes out, Seth comes out, and then Cody comes out. And Cody Rhodes is cutting his promo, and he makes it out like he's going to go for Roman Reigns, like he's going to go for the WWE Championship. But then when Cody and Roman go face to face, Cody Rhodes tells Roman Reigns, I don't want you. I want the real world champion. And then Cody would turn around and hit Seth Rollins with a crossroads, signing the Raw contract. And it's official at WrestleMania 40, Rollins Rhodes for the World Heavyweight Championship. The Australian crowd would erupt. They would be going, crazy, as this is a swerve that they did not expect. And with the world title being properly built up and Roman Reigns never burying the world championship, and, Seth and his great points about the World Heavyweight Championship being the working man's title, and that's the title that Dusty would really want, it makes narrative storyline sense for Cody Rhodes in this scenario to go for the World Heavyweight Championship. So Cody Rhodes leaves. He signs the contract. Rollins is laid out, and Cody walks up the stage and leaves. Meanwhile, Roman Reigns is alone in the ring, wondering, well, what now? And then The Rock's music hits. The Rock returns, the stadium explodes, and The Rock comes out, goes face to face with Roman Reigns, and The Rock signs the SmackDown contract, setting up the WWE Championship match. Roman Reigns versus The Rock in the Night 2 main event of WrestleMania 40. So now, sure, some fans would still be sour. They would still be saying Rock took Cody's spot. Some people would still say the we want Cody stuff, but I think that in this scenario it would only be a IWC thing. It would not bleed over into the live audiences, because WWE properly built a good narrative for why Cody would go for Seth Rollins rather than Roman Reigns, and Rock only comes in after Cody has chosen Seth, plus with Cody never pointing at Roman Reigns and rather just looking at both men back at the Rumble, it's not a guarantee foregone conclusion that Cody would go for Roman. Therefore, the Rock Roman match does not feel thrown together. So, the storyline going forward for Cody and Seth would be pretty straightforward. Cody Rhodes wants to finish the story. He wants to be the guy in professional wrestling. He wants to be the working man's world champion like his father was. He wants to beat Seth Rollins, where Seth Rollins wants to avenge the 3 back-to-back losses he took at the hands of Cody back in 2022. So that story is pretty simple, and they would probably have the best match of the entire weekend, where Roman and Rock's story is all about legacy. The Rock is back for one reason only: to reunite the family. Rock calls Roman out for, destroying the family. I mean, Jay doesn't care about Roman anymore. Even Jimmy for a time betrayed him, and Rock tells Roman that he's just manipulating Jimmy. And then he points at Solo and says that Solo, he wants the power that you have, but you keep holding him down. And Rock just points out all the major cracks in the bloodline, brings up the stuff with Sami Zayn from a year earlier, and just how divided the family is. And Rock brings up that the division isn't just what's seen on screen, but the division is seen off screen as well. And Rock brings up how the fact that one thing on Raw's 30th anniversary was originally supposed to be a bloodline celebration acknowledgement ceremony for Roman, but Rock says in storyline that this didn't happen because of the fragmentation in the family. And Rock says that elders are fighting against their sons, brothers against their sisters. Rock says, Roman, you have ruined the family. And Rock makes it clear that he is the only one that can repair the damage that Roman Reigns has done, because Jay failed, Sami failed, Jimmy and Solo, while they could try, they would likely fail as well. The Rock makes it clear that he's the only able-bodied member of the family that has what it takes to take down Roman Reigns. And The Rock tells Roman that you call yourself the Tribal Chief, yet you've never beaten me. So the story is all about Rock unifying the family. As for Roman Reigns, it's about solidifying himself as the undisputed Tribal Chief, because Roman acknowledges that he's never beaten The Rock, and it drives Roman crazy that Rock is technically a bigger star than him. But Roman looks to extinguish that star. He looks to crush The Rock at WrestleMania and submit himself not only as the greatest WWE champion in history, but as the undisputed Tribal Chief. And Roman makes it clear that unity within the family would not come through The Rock. And it's not about unity, rather it's about the family dominating. And Roman says under his regime as Tribal Chief, the family has dominated. So it's a huge collision of ideologies between Roman Reigns and The Rock going into WrestleMania 40. And we even get a segment where you have all the elders that are in support of The Rock and all the younger members of the family, with the exception of like Jey Uso, in support of Roman Reigns, and this sets up like a huge collision for a tribal combat match for WrestleMania. So we get to WrestleMania 40, and on night one, The Rock makes an appearance where he spices up things a little bit more by Rock announcing that he will put his career on the line, stating that if he does not dethrone Roman Reigns, then he will retire from the WWE and from professional wrestling for good. That way you still get a Rock appearance on night one, and it adds a lot more, even more spice and flavor to the match. So night one of WrestleMania would obviously end with Cody winning the World Heavyweight Championship, and now we get to night two. It's Roman and Rock in tribal combat, and the crowd would make this match. The crowd would be going absolutely insane. They would be cheering for The Rock, most likely, and Roman and Rock, I'd give them a good 20-25 minutes. Go out there, beat the crap out of each other. There's rock bottoms, there's spears, there's broken barricades, broken announce tables, false finishes, kickouts, submission breaks. There is so much chaos, but ultimately, when The Rock hits a flipping rock bottom from the second rope, it looks like Rock's gonna win, but then Jimmy Uso comes out there, Solo comes out there, but then The Rock gets some help from flipping Rikishi, he gets some help from Jey Uso, he gets some help even from the daggum Wild Samoans, Roman's father and uncle, and you just see a huge collision of past, present, Anawahi family members getting involved in this match. And after all the crazy interferences that you can think of Anawahi family members that are recognizable and could actually get in there and, at least do a little something, for about 5 minutes, it's back to Roman and Rock one-on-one, and they continue to go at it. Rock goes for a people's elbow, but Roman catches Rock with a spear, and then Rock, slowly gets up, eats another spear. Roman pins Rock, 1, 2, The Rock kicks out, and Roman Reigns can't believe it. Roman Reigns is bloodied up, he's bruised, he's battered, and so is The Rock, and The Rock is still kicking out. And then Roman Reigns, he looks at Paul Heyman asking for support, asking for advice, and Heyman, hands Roman Reigns a chain, and Heyman gets up on the apron, and Roman goes to hit Rock with the chain, but Rock ends up low blowing Roman and pushing Roman into Heyman, and Heyman falls off the apron through a daggum table set up on the outside, and then Roman turns around into a rock bottom, 1, 2, Roman Reigns barely kicks out, and then The Rock goes for a spear, but then he's caught with a rock bottom by Roman Reigns, and then Roman Reigns, does that back and forth off the rope spear. He spears Rock in the back, then Rock slowly gets up, barely able to stand, tells Roman to bring it, and Roman hits one more spear on The Rock. 1, 2, 3. Roman Reigns retains the WWE Championship, and his historic reign continues. Paul Heyman laid out through a table. Solo, Jimmy laid out. Jay laid out. The Wild Samoans laid out. Rock laid out. Like everyone is laid out, and Roman Reigns, bloodied, can barely stand, is the only person left standing. The Ulafala is placed around his neck by the referee, and WrestleMania 40 goes off the air with Roman Reigns raising the WWE Championship in the air, creating a iconic moment. And then after Roman Reigns leaves, you get the thank you Rock from the Philly crowd, giving the Rock the love and respect that he deserves. And then the next night on Raw would be an entire celebration of The Rock's career that would see people like John Cena, Stone Cold, Triple H, and The Undertaker show up. And then ultimately the Raw after Mania would ultimately come to a close with The Rock acknowledging Roman Reigns as tribal chief and shakes hands with Roman, and that would be the end. Now, the logical question would then be what would come next, and I think the natural thing that would be next would be WrestleMania 41, Roman versus Cody. I think Cody would carry the World Heavyweight Championship throughout most of 2024 before dropping the world title likely to Gunther, and then after failing to win it back, I think Cody would end up in the Elimination Chamber match in 2025 and would win the match to earn a shot at Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. And Cody Rhodes, Roman calls himself the final boss, and Roman brings up to Cody that you got yourself back here. And for Cody, it's about now truly finishing the story. He finished a story a year earlier, but he didn't finish the story. He got led away from the story at WrestleMania 40, but Cody will not allow that to happen to him at WrestleMania 41. So you get Cody and Roman for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41 in Vegas, and Cody Rhodes would beat Roman Reigns for the WWE Championship at WrestleMania 41. And in this timeline, you would never get a heel John Cena. You would never get a final boss Rock. In fact, Rock, highly unlikely he shows up doing anything of significance post Raw after WrestleMania. And ultimately, I feel we get a much better timeline for WWE coming out of this, because you can still eventually get to the stuff with the Vision. It just wouldn't come about till probably SummerSlam of 2025, and you could still get John Cena's 17th World Championship. He would just maybe beat Gunther at WrestleMania 41 to win it instead of Jay. We can still eventually get to kind of the point where we are now, but things are a lot less messy because you don't have your pointless Rock returns and things like that. So ultimately, I feel this is the only way WWE could have made The Rock versus Roman Reigns work at WrestleMania 40. Again, fans would still complain, obviously, but again, I don't think it would translate into the arenas had WWE done it this way. And if it doesn't translate into the arenas, then WWE simply isn't going to change their plans. So ultimately, as I said, I think this is the only way WWE could have done The Rock versus Roman Reigns. And hopefully someday we will properly see this match, but it's highly unlikely. So, with all that being said, thank you all for watching, and God bless.